What's up, YouTube? This is my first video on my last Son of Smallville channel. I'm gonna start my episode reviews soon, but I wanted to just figure for my first video just talk about the season 9 of Smallville overall, and what I think about it so far. I think season 9 is probably the best season they've done. Callum Blue is General Zod. Major Zod is a pretty good addition to the cast, and I think Tess Mercer as a character is really being fleshed out more. The surprise in the episode of Absolute Justice is that we find out that Tess is actually an agent for Checkmate, which I never thought would happen. I knew Checkmate was coming in. I knew Pam Grier was going to play Amanda Waller, but I didn't know she was going to end up being in the Absolute Justice episode. So I was surprised about that. Also, now that we know that Tess is an agent, and they're forming the Suicide Squad, as they mentioned at the end of Absolute Justice, kind of brings to my mind, and it makes sense of why Tess was collecting all those villains and metahumans in Season 8, which she did with, I think, Plastique, her name is. And at the end, towards the end of Season 8, where she had Parasite, Plastique, and there was a couple other guys as villains to go hunt down Doomsday. And so I don't know if that was for Checkmate or if that was her own personal idea, her own personal plan. It also brings to my mind the level 33.1 in that was in some building or facility that Lex Luthor had. A couple of times, I believe it was in the episode Jinx, was when we were first introduced to it. Lex brought someone up there, and it was always rumored that he kept villains or people with powers locked up in some kind of facility. And I just think it's interesting that Smallville's continuing with that kind of theme, or the gathering of people with powers. They used to be called media freaks. Now they're just regular, usually a villain or whoever, some twisted person with a vendetta, and they have superpowers. I think also one of the best things they did too was bringing in the not the suit, but giving Clark the black trench coat with the black shirt with the like white, bluish white S symbol. I think it's more white, but sometimes it looks blue, depending on the light, like a very light blue. But I think it was very good, a good idea to do, because they haven't put the suit in yet. Hopefully, if they have season 9, or at least towards the series finale, hopefully they'll bring in the suit so we can see Clark don the traditional Superman suit, so he doesn't have to keep wearing the black. Even though I like it, I think it's pretty good. I personally like the color black a lot. I'm wearing a gray shirt now, but I usually wear black, and I think they did a good job with it. Although I do sometimes miss the traditional red jacket with the blue shirt, and I don't really like the Power Ranger kind of thing where they have his main suit is in black, and when he's outside, like in the last night's episode of Persuasion, at the end of the episode, Clark is he's in Smallville in his house, and he's not in the black suit because Lois is there, but he has a black shirt on, and kind of reminds me of back in the day with Power Rangers, where say like the Yellow Ranger or the Red Ranger would have the red suit, but then in their civilian clothes they would just wear the color of the suit, just not the suit. So I don't know, it doesn't bother me that much, but a little corny, to be honest with you. I think Jeff Johns, so far in season 9, Jeff Johns has been doing pretty good. He was another great addition for season 8. I think Absolute Justice was I think it was one of the best episodes since Rosetta. I'll be doing a review on Absolute Justice in the coming week or couple of days. And I think, as I said before, Callum Lewis, Major Zod, is very good. Although sometimes he puts too much feeling, too much emphasis on the lip movement. Like his lips have too much. He puts too much emphasis on that. Sometimes it doesn't come off that well. But I think it's overall he does a very good job. Not as good as Terrence Stamp as General Zod, but he does a pretty good job nevertheless. Um, I think he's the same with we're of season 9, and hope, hope, hopefully they bring him back for 10. I don't think they will, um, but I don't know. Who knows if they'll even bring in Brainiac? Maybe they'll show us how those two got together in the first place. And I Chloe she's been doing pretty good as a character. The evolution of her through the years as kind of the outsider, the girl that has, she stays in her own little, her own room. She's outgoing, but I don't know, she yeah, it was just something. It was like she sort of had like the outsider personality at the beginning of the show. I think that was pretty good, but then later on they changed it. Season 8, I didn't really like her that much. The character, even though Allison Mack did a great job of acting. Nevertheless, the kind of since season 8, to me, Chloe had some kind of had a sort of mother-like role over Clark, and I didn't really like it. It's not continuing in 9, but it's gotten to the point where Chloe, she's a great character, but I think it's time to move on. And for some reason, the the writers have decided to um, make some kind of a love connection or something like that between her and Oliver. I don't know why. It was in one of the previous episodes recently, and that should be interesting to see what happens. I don't know how they're going to play that off. Last season, at the end, I heard Allison Mack was only signed up for one more, so I assume season 9 is her last, although season 10, the announcement hasn't come up yet. Hopefully they get it, but they haven't said no to the season. It's just they've been a little slow saying whether or not they're going to have it. And I think so. I think Chloe. I'm surprised that she still hasn't told Lois, unless she did it and I didn't see it, or she did it off camera. She hasn't told Lois that Jimmy is dead, or Henry, whatever you want to call him. Although that was ridiculous that they changed his name at the end from Jimmy Olsen to Henry James Olsen, and at the end of season 8 they introduced his little brother that we never knew he had, and we assume because Chloe gives him the camera that Jimmy had, that he'll be the future Jimmy that we all know of. But that was a mistake. But in the beginning of season 9, I thought she was still, Chloe was sort of, she still wasn't she still hadn't gotten over his death yet. And as the season's been going on, I think she's been, relaxing into her role as Watchtower. And it's just some of the things that she does, looking into Oliver Queen's personal emails, tracking people down. She even put a tracking device on Oliver that he found out about early in the season, and this kind of surveillance that she does, going into their privacy, setting up um, situations for them to get into in order to train them and make them better people. I think